Ecomiwiki is a service that I use to basically analyse everything I do on Veve. From my market evaluations to my vault valuations, there's so much that you can actually do on it. So in this video, I'm going to take you through Ecomiwiki, what you can do on it, how to use it to your best advantage, and some basic strategies I use when deciding to buy and sell some of my collectibles. So let's get started. Welcome everyone, my name is Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Just before we get going, if you are enjoying the content, you want to support me further, you can hit a subscribe button. And if you want to support me further than that, you can join the membership. If you want to get involved and it's your first time wanting to do it, if you use Ecomi30, you're going to get that 30% off the first month. And if you use Ecomi30 back, then you're going to be getting a returning member. And if you are a returning customer, then you will get 30% there as well. So this is definitely something to take advantage of if it's something that you enjoy to do, if you want to learn more about your Veve stuff, because I would highly recommend it. I'm not actually being paid to say this or anything like that. I just genuinely enjoy Ecomiwiki. I have wanted to work with Omi the Clown for a while because the stuff is just truly incredible. So I'd recommend checking it out. Let's go on to Ecomiwiki. Let's understand it a little bit further and some of the basic things that I use it for that really help me move forward. When you come to the first page, you're going to see your sort of vault overview. Now, I'm not going to show you mine. It's something that I kind of keep to myself. I don't really show it off to other people and what it is. But here, when you are a premium member, you are going to see these unblurred. You're going to be able to see your vault valuations, how it's moved over the last couple of weeks, sort of what you can see from it. Right now, obviously, in the last 24 hours or so, it's went down slightly, but nothing much. Here you can see your top 3 collectibles, the price of those, the top 3 valuable comics, the price of those as well. Then you can also see the state of overall market cap when it comes to everything that's going on in Veve. So it looks at the fully diluted market cap, the comic market cap, and then the total market cap. It does it in relation with undiluted and diluted as well. So it's an amazing start just to overall what Ecomiwiki is and what it actually represents. And this is something I've just loved already with this 2.0. Down the right hand side of the screen as well, you're going to see your own collectibles, and you can add your collectibles here however you like. You know, you can see all of the most recent ones in the drop. It's really as simple as just clicking the add button, put in a certain number that's going to be happening. It works really smooth. You can remove it at any point you want. Once you're done, you can do that. And here you can actually see all of them. You see the percentage change, the dollar change over the last 24 hours. It shows you its all-time high, its all-time low. There's so much good stuff when it comes to Ecomiwiki just in general. And having this at the side of your screen and just all of your collectibles there where you can add, remove and all that sort of stuff, it works really well and it's something I would highly recommend doing. You're going to be able to pay more attention to sort of what's going on. If there's something you're really looking at the moment to maybe get duplicates of and more of, then this is going to help you. You're going to see the number of listings, the previous sold item, the percentage change of the day. There's just a lot to work on there, and there's a lot of things that you can actually do when it comes to Ecomiwiki. Now, what I would like to see in the future, as a recommendation for Omi the Clown, is to hopefully have a full page related to this. As of right now, obviously we're getting just the side page of it, and I don't know if there is a full page for it. From what I could see, I couldn't find that, but if there is, and that it does happen to be in the plans, I would love to see a full page of this area anyway, so that we can have it and it loads more in the one time. But as we go through here, you can actually see my collectibles. You can change it to my comics and the ones that you have. You can go back to your collectibles and see what those are. You can also do in the floor price, the 24 hours, the all-time highs, all-time lows, but those are premium with the market caps and that sort of stuff. And that's again when you can search for collectibles in your vault. If you've put a lot in there, you've got a lot of collectibles, then you're obviously going to have to search for certain ones if you can't be bothered scrolling down for all of them. So if we put the partner statue, for example, the partner statue should just come up here, and Deadpool there with the uncommon is there as well. So it's really awesome to see that able to do this. It's so smooth. It really works well, and I just love this first part of Ecomiwiki because there's so much more to it. Part of Ecomiwiki is the collectibles and just seeing these in general. Now, this isn't one I use mostly. This isn't something that I use all the time, but it definitely is a good understanding of the things that are going on because you can see the licensors, latest comics, brands, and all that sort of stuff. So if we click on brands, for example, with Pixar, we see here the Pixar pals with what was actually dropped recently. We can see if they're sold out or not, their price, what they were. So if we click on Edna, for example, we can see here our description, our drop date. We can also see the metrics. Now, this obviously goes on the basis of 6,999 available minus your reserves, and then it tells us the potential to raise by actually selling out with this, which is just, I really like seeing that. I think that's quite cool. It just sort of shows us how much is raised and this actually does sell out and what that is. And if you scroll down a little bit as well, you can actually see the prices of this in the last 24 hours. You can see the price of it, the price fluctuation. Now, it doesn't show the total listings or anything like that, but it does see the floor movement, which I really like. I like that addition to it. You're able to see it if you actually use this page, you're able to see the description, sort of the rarity of it, and just get a better understanding of when it was dropped, what it looks like, and a little bit more. Now onto two of the ones that I do use a little bit more, and something that I feel works better for me when it comes to just analysing stuff and what you can use Ecomiwiki for. And this is on to the market floor prices and the tables that are there. Now here you can see all of the collectibles that you like, their 1 week change, issue number, the brand, the listings, and so much more. There's really a lot to it here. Here you can see all of the changes of the prices. If Metallo was something you were looking at, you can see it cost 135, it's went down 17% in the last 24 hours, and 6% in the last 7 days. You can see that its drop price was 20. You can see the issues here and the total number of listings that we've got. Now what I love about this is it sort of leads me on to the main part of what I use Ecomiwiki for. So for example, let's just search up something like Winnie the Pooh, because that was a most recent drop. You see it comes up here, 1 week change 34%, but the last 24 hours it's actually dropped 12%. It's now sitting at around 424. Now what I would like to figure out more a little bit about is seeing that 12% drop, what it could have potentially been. And when we go onto the graphs, we can see exactly that. Now this is my favorite part of Ecomiwiki for sure. You're able to see the graphs, you're able to see the floor prices, you're able to expand it so that you have it full in that page for you, and get out the Winnie the Pooh, seeing what it is, seeing what its description is, what was a part of this series itself, and then just a better understanding of what is going on. Now because this is new, obviously we don't have this sort of data. It has to take a little bit of time before we actually do that, before we get a better indication. But what we can see here is actually analysing the sort of floor price, the total listings, and the previous sold. The blue line is the total number of listings, the red line is the floor price, and the yellow dotted line is the previous sold. So here we can obviously see from Winnie's sort of start. If we go into the floor price just in general, we can see that it started at around 258, went all the way down to about 216, shot up to around 500 gems, and went even further to about 570, 580, before making its way back down to around 424 as of right now. Then if we bring in the total listings, we can see that this pattern sort of works with it, where we can see that the listings was pretty high in the beginning, just like usually are with the drops, as a lot of flippers are getting out. The price sharply increased, the listings sharply decreased, bringing it all the way down, and now that we're actually seeing a decrease in price, we're seeing a steady increase in listings. This is probably going to continue for the next few days before anything sort of happens. Maybe someone buys something quite quickly, but here you're going to be able to understand further what the market is, how to actually utilize it in the best way possible, and sort of when to plan your buy and sell points, when to actually move forward. For me, example, what I actually use this for in particular, I've got 4 Winnie the Poohs at the moment, and what I done is I saw this really sharp decrease that was happening here with the listings, and that they were going quite quickly when it came to that. Now I was seeing this on the app as well, but this helped me back up that data. I saw that the price was no longer going down and was steadily rising over the next few hours. So I decided to buy in around about here, and this is where I was able to get the majority of my Winnie the Poohs and still holding them today. Now of course it's not the same all-time high that it was at about 580 just a couple of days ago. However, since buying it from around 245 to going up to 429, I'm pretty happy with that, and that is a significant rise of what we're getting so far. And this is actually the app and the website that has allowed me to do just that. I'm able to analyze things further, I'm able to be better at actually understanding the market, and then using historical data to back those points up to help me sort of solidify the decisions that I've made. There's another really great thing that I like when it comes to this, and that is actually understanding not organic rises and pumps. Now if we look at the left side of the screen right now, we can see that these Disney duos have sort of taken a similar format when it comes to their price action over the last 24 hours anyway. We can see this price action here, this price action here, this one here, taking a little bit of a dip here, but we can actually see Timon and Pumbaa has taken a massive spike up. Now if you're solely looking at Timon and Pumbaa on the app, you're going to think, oh, everything's going to be rising now, everything's booming, so I need to get in. And we might actually be thinking we're going to be buying in here maybe a little bit too late after the pump had happened. So why is this the case? Why is this something we should be paying attention to? And this is exactly where Ecomiwiki comes in. Because if we look at Timon and Pumbaa here, we can see here that just yesterday, we saw the price go from 292 all the way down to around 220. But somehow this morning, the price has shot up from 220 all the way to 256, with the total number of listings going down from 453 all the way right now down to 418, meaning there's been a significant buy-in from Timon and Pumbaa, why this massive spike in price has happened. Because if we compare that to something like Winnie the Pooh with just this morning, we're not seeing that massive spike in price the same Timon and Pumbaa is. By doing this, you're going to be able to understand when these massive spikes happen, maybe why they're occurring, is someone buying a lot of them very quickly, and how do we actually alter our situation when it comes to this. As you can see there, you're able to actually look at things a bit further. You're able to look at them deeper and actually understand it to a better instance. This can be the same things when we look at the likes of Todd McFarlane Batman and just understanding a little bit further of price movement and maybe what's been happening. Now, of course, we've only got the price action from October the 18th, that is when this started, but we can see the price movements of this, the total number of listings, the previous sold, and sort of what's happened over the last few months. We saw at the all-time high was sitting around 13,500, and right now we're sitting at about 5,500, just sitting at around about what the price action was at the start of January. Now, this has been taking quite a significant decrease over the last few months, but it's still a very high price from what it was at. And this is where we can maybe look at the total listings, seeing how these are moving, seeing how these are going down. And it's actually interesting to see that the total listings are gradually going down as the price is going down too. I would expect that in the next few months, we might actually see these listings continue to decrease as the floor price continues to rise, as there's more holders who are looking to hold out for the long run, as more people are actually wanting to get involved in this and wanting to hold the things that are most significant. And getting in at this sort of price compared to 13,400 at the all-time high could be quite a good sign that they are looking to get that. Or maybe you're looking for an even further drop in price before you actually get in. By doing this and actually analysing the graphs, you're going to just be able to understand and take note further of what's going on. You don't have to keep it on pen and paper. You don't have to always keep track of everything that's happening, because this does exactly that. And I use this all the time to determine when I'm going to buy into something. One of the things as well that you can do, and sort of what I try to look at, is when things often reach their low, depending on how long after they actually were dropped. So if we take things like Donald and Daisy, then we can see that the price started at around 1700 and it went all the way down to around 430 before starting to spike up again to 640. Now, during this time, the total listings stayed quite high before we saw a significant drop in listings, with the price reaching over and above it. And now we're seeing the listings at 356, the lowest that it's actually been, and now we're seeing the price starting to rise. So this can be quite a good indication of a potential rise and a potential pump in the price over the next coming days, if this is going to be the case and if this pattern continues. By taking note of what's going on right now, you're then going to be able to understand what's happening in the future and try to do a sort of constructive guess when it comes to this sort of stuff. Of course, no one has a crystal ball and you can't actually determine exactly what's going to be happening, but you can maybe understand a little bit further than the average consumer, and therefore take that advantage where they actually see that possibility happening. With things like Winnie the Pooh, I was able to do that, and I've been able to do it with quite a few other comics as well when this is the case, just by keeping track of the graphs, just by understanding them a little bit further, and has really helped me move forward. I wanted to make a video just covering the sort of basics of what Ecomiwiki and Ecomiwiki's premium actually offers, because I know you can't see the graphs without the premium. So it was something I wanted to share with you just because I use it so much, and I feel there's a lot of people still on Veve and a lot of people wanting to get in on Veve and trying to understand the data and graphs further. Right now, it's a tenner a month to be able to pay for the premium, and being able to make the money on Veve to pay a tenner is just something I'm more than happy to pay. So again, if you want to get involved and it's your first time wanting to do it, if you use Ecomi30, you're going to get that 30% off the first month. And if you use Ecomi30 back, then you're going to be getting a returning member. And if you are a returning customer, then you will get 30% there as well. So I'd highly recommend giving it a go, even if it's just for a month. If it's something you want to try out, see if it's worth your while, because I know when I first tried it out, it was something I knew I was going to be continuing purely because of the amount of data that you get for such a great price. I would love to hear your thoughts on Ecomiwiki. Is it something you want to use? Is it something you would like to try? Or are you better at keeping the data on pen and paper or just on your own Excel spreadsheet? I'd love for you to let me know down below. Another video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.